Captain Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge of the Horizon's Hope and watched the stars streak past the view screen. 5 medical ships flew in formation behind him, each one painted white with red crosses visible on every side. They were 3 days into their journey to New Haven, and so far everything had gone smoothly. "How are the supplies holding up?" Daniel asked his first officer. "All secure, Captain. The medical equipment is stable, and the refugee quarters are comfortable enough. Dr. Mitchell says his team is ready to start working the moment we land." Daniel nodded. Ryan Mitchell was one of the best trauma surgeons on Earth. The man had volunteered for this mission without hesitation, even though everyone knew the Kepler frontier was dangerous. A war had been raging there for 2 years between the Kreth Dominion and the Vaxir Collective. Human colonists on New Haven were caught in the middle, and thousands needed help. Commander Lisa Grant walked onto the bridge. She was Earth's diplomatic envoy, and she had spent months negotiating safe passage for this convoy. Both alien empires had agreed to let the medical ships through. They had given their word. "I just received confirmation from both sides," Lisa said. "The Kreth and Vaxir have acknowledged our route. We should have clear passage all the way to New Haven." "That's good news," Daniel replied. He had been in space for 20 years, and he had learned to be cautious. The galaxy was not always kind to humans. Earth had only been part of the galactic community for 50 years, and many alien species still saw humanity as weak. In the medical bay, Ryan Mitchell checked his supplies one more time. Nurse Amy Carter worked beside him, organizing medications and surgical tools. They had enough equipment to treat thousands of patients. The cargo holds were full of food, water purification systems, and temporary shelters. "Do you think they'll really let us through?" Amy asked quietly. Ryan looked at her. She was young, only 25, but she had seen enough suffering to understand why this mission mattered. They gave their word. Even in war, some things are supposed to be sacred. Medical ships, rescue operations, those things are supposed to be off limits. "Supposed to be," Amy repeated. She did not sound convinced. The convoy continued through space. Daniel kept his crew on regular shifts, making sure everyone stayed alert. The ships were unarmed. They relied entirely on their humanitarian status for protection. Every broadcast they sent identified them as rescue vessels. Every communication channel carried the same message in multiple languages. On the 3rd day, the sensors detected a large group of ships ahead. Daniel felt his stomach tighten. The bridge crew went silent. "Identify those vessels," Daniel ordered. The sensor officer worked quickly. "Captain, I'm reading 40 ships. They're Kreth warships. A full battle fleet." Lisa stepped forward. "Open a channel. Let me talk to them." The view screen flickered, and a Kreth commander appeared. The reptilian alien stared at them with cold eyes. His scales were dark green, and rows of sharp teeth showed when he spoke. "I am War Master Throck of the Kreth Dominion. You are in restricted space." Lisa kept her voice calm and professional. "War Master, I am Commander Lisa Grant of Earth. We are a humanitarian convoy carrying medical supplies to New Haven. We have clearance from both the Kreth Dominion and the Vaxir Collective. Our ships are unarmed and marked according to galactic rescue protocols." Throck leaned forward. "I see your markings, human. But I also see an opportunity. Your species thinks it can navigate our war with words and treaties. You think you are clever, hiding behind your diplomatic status while you spread through our territories?" "We're not spreading anywhere," Lisa said firmly. "We're trying to save lives. There are human civilians on New Haven who need help. Children, families, people who have nothing to do with your war." "Everything has to do with our war," Throck replied. His voice carried contempt. "You humans are weak. You survive because stronger species allow it. Perhaps it is time someone reminded you of your place." Daniel felt a chill run through him. "Lisa, get us out of here now," but it was too late. The Kreth warships powered up their weapons. Red targeting beams locked onto the convoy. Lisa's voice rose. "War Master, we are protected under the Galactic Rescue Accords. Firing on us would be a war crime. Every species in the galaxy would condemn you." Throck laughed, a harsh sound that made Daniel's skin crawl. "Let them condemn. When we are done, humans will think twice before entering Kreth space." Fire. The first blast hit the medical ship Mercy 1. The explosion was massive. Daniel watched in horror as the ship broke apart, pieces tumbling through space. 300 people had been aboard. Doctors, nurses, patients being transferred for treatment. "All gone in an instant. Evasive maneuvers," Daniel shouted. "All ships scatter." The convoy broke formation. The Horizon's Hope turned hard to port, engines screaming. Another explosion lit up the darkness as Hope's light was hit. Then Dawn's promise. The Kreth warships fired again and again, methodically destroying the unarmed vessels. "Return fire," someone yelled, then remembered they had no weapons. Daniel's hands flew across the controls. He pushed the Horizon's Hope to its limits, dodging blast after blast. Beside him, only one other ship still survived. The Mercy Dawn. Both vessels were badly damaged. Hull breaches venting atmosphere, engines failing. In the medical bay, Ryan held onto a table as the ship shook. Equipment flew through the air. Amy screamed as a panel exploded near her. Ryan pulled her down, shielding her with his body as debris rained around them. "We need to get out of here," Amy cried. The Kreth continued firing. Daniel could not understand it. They had surrendered. They were broadcasting surrender signals on every frequency, but Throck kept attacking, kept trying to destroy them. Then something changed. One of the Kreth ships took a hit. Not from the Convoy, but from another Kreth ship. Daniel saw two of Throck's vessels firing on each other. "Some of them are fighting back," the sensor officer said in disbelief. "Some of the Kreth commanders don't want to do this." It gave Daniel the seconds he needed. He pushed the engines one more time, and the Horizon's Hope limped away, the Mercy Dawn struggling to keep up. Behind them, the Kreth fleet was in chaos, some ships following Throck's orders, others refusing. Daniel got them to a safe distance, and then let the ship drift. They were too damaged to go much farther. Of 5 ships, only 2 remained. More than 800 people were dead. Lisa collapsed into a chair, her face pale. "They fired on us. They actually fired on medical ships." Daniel activated an emergency channel, one he had been given years ago when he first started flying in dangerous space. He had been told to use it only in the most extreme situations. This qualified. "This is Captain Daniel Hayes of the transport Horizon's Hope. We are a civilian rescue convoy. We have been attacked by Kreth forces. Multiple ships destroyed, hundreds dead. Requesting immediate assistance. Emergency code Alpha 79er. For a long moment, there was only static. Then a voice responded, clear and strong. "Message received, Captain Hayes. Terra Command acknowledges. Hold your position. Help is coming." Daniel stared at the communications panel. Terra Command? He had never heard of it. As far as he knew, Earth had a small defense fleet, barely enough to protect the home system. But something in that voice made him believe. Something told him that everything was about to change. Admiral Kevin Ross received the distress call in his command center, buried deep inside a massive station that floated in the darkness beyond Pluto. The facility was called Shadow Base 7, and it was one of 12 hidden installations that humanity had built over the past 50 years. Nobody outside of a select few knew they existed. Kevin was 60 years old with gray hair and sharp eyes that had seen more combat than most people could imagine. He had commanded the Terra Defense Fleet for 15 years, and in that time he had never deployed his forces in full view of the galaxy. Until now. He played the recording again, listening to Daniel Hayes plead for help. Then he watched the footage that came with it. The Kreth warships firing on marked medical vessels, ships breaking apart, people dying. Vice Admiral Nicole Spencer stood beside him. She was younger, 45, with short black hair and a reputation for aggressive tactics. "We have to respond," she said. "This is exactly what we've been preparing for." Kevin nodded slowly. "I know, but once we move, there's no going back. The whole galaxy will know what we've been doing out here." "Good," Nicole said firmly. "Let them know. We've been hiding long enough. Those alien empires out there think we're weak. They think Earth is easy prey. It's time we showed them the truth." Kevin turned to face the massive view screen that dominated one wall of the command center. It showed a display of the Terra Defense Fleet. Over 300 warships spread across multiple hidden bases. Battleships, carriers, destroyers, frigates, all of them equipped with weapons and technology that would shock every species in the galaxy. He thought back to how it all started. 50 years ago, when Earth first made contact with alien life, humanity had been hopeful. People thought they would join a peaceful community of advanced species. That dream died quickly. The Zorvak raiders had attacked within a year. They were pirates, slavers, creatures who saw humans as weak and profitable. Earth's small fleet had barely managed to drive them off, and even then, only because the raiders underestimated human determination. Thousands had died. Entire colonies were destroyed. After that, Earth's leaders realized the truth. The galaxy was not peaceful. It was full of empires and species that respected only strength. Humanity needed to get stronger, much stronger, or they would be conquered or enslaved. Operation Blackwatch was born. In secret, every nation on Earth contributed resources to build a defense fleet. They used captured alien technology, reverse-engineered it, and improved it with human innovation. They built bases far from Earth where no one would find them. They trained crews and developed weapons. And they waited. They presented a peaceful face to the galaxy, joined the Galactic Council, signed treaties and trade agreements. But behind the scenes, they prepared for war. General Brandon Walker entered the command center. He was head of special operations, responsible for intelligence gathering and covert missions. "I've reviewed the attack footage," he said. "It's clear. The Kreth commander deliberately targeted those medical ships. Some of his own officers tried to stop him. Do we know why?" Kevin asked. "Pride," Brandon answered. "War Master Throck has a reputation. He hates humans, thinks we're insects who got lucky. This was personal for him." Nicole slammed her fist on a console. "Then we make it personal. We deploy everything we have and crush his entire fleet." "We need authorization first," Kevin said. He activated a secure communication channel. Within minutes, he was connected to Earth's Security Council. Secretary of Defense Michelle Adams appeared on the screen along with several other officials. "Admiral Ross," Michelle said, "we've seen the attack. What are you proposing?" "Full deployment," Kevin replied. 3 fleets. Over 300 ships. We jump to New Haven, surround the Kreth forces and demand their surrender. If they refuse, we destroy them." There was silence on the other end. Kevin waited. He knew what they were thinking. This would change everything. 50 years of secrecy would end in a single moment. Finally, Michelle spoke. "You have authorization. Operation Thunderclap is approved. Show them what happens when they attack our people." The channel closed. Kevin turned to his command staff. "Begin immediate deployment. 1st Fleet, 3rd Fleet, and 7th Fleet. I want every ship ready to jump in 2 hours." The command center erupted into activity. Officers rushed to their stations. Communication channels opened to bases throughout the outer system. Captains received their orders. Crews prepared their vessels. Nicole pulled up tactical displays. The Kreth fleet at New Haven numbers about 80 ships. They've called in reinforcements after the attack. Throck probably thinks he'll finish off the colony while he's there. "He's about to get a surprise," Brandon said with grim satisfaction. Kevin walked through the command center, observing his people at work. He saw determination on every face. These men and women had trained for years in secret, knowing they might never see combat. Now their moment had arrived and they were ready. He stopped at a window that looked out into space. Hundreds of warships were moving, pulling out of their hidden berths, forming up in attack formations. The battleship Indomitable would be his flagship. Beside it, the carriers Liberty and Defiance prepared their fighters. Destroyers and frigates took positions in the fleet formation. "Admiral," an officer called out, "all ships report ready. We can jump on your command." Kevin took a deep breath. 50 years of preparation, 50 years of hiding and building and waiting, all leading to this moment. "Send a message to Captain Hayes," Kevin ordered. "Tell him to hold position and get his people to safety. Tell him Earth is coming." Nicole stood beside him as the countdown began. "The Kreth think they can attack our civilians without consequences. They're about to learn otherwise." "It's not just about revenge," Kevin said quietly. "It's about establishing a principle. No one attacks humanitarian missions. No one kills medical personnel and refugees. If we let this go, every predator species in the galaxy will think they can do the same. We draw the line here." The countdown reached 0. Kevin gave the order. "All ships initiate quantum jump. Destination New Haven. Execute Operation Thunderclap." Space tore open. Massive tunnels formed, swirling portals of energy that bent reality itself. The Terra Defense fleet entered the tunnels and disappeared, crossing hundreds of light years in seconds. On Shadow Base 7, technicians monitored the jump. Everything was working perfectly. The fleet would arrive at New Haven in moments, appearing right on top of the Kreth forces. Kevin stood on the bridge of the Indomitable as the jump completed. The view screen showed normal space returning. And there, ahead of them, was the Kreth battle fleet orbiting New Haven. "All ships report successful jump," the communications officer said. "Fleet is at full readiness. Weapons powered and locked. Kevin looked at the Kreth vessels, 80 warships including their massive dreadnought. A force that could destroy most smaller species' entire military. War Master Throck probably felt invincible. Open a channel, Kevin commanded. All frequencies. I want every ship in this system to hear what I'm about to say. The channel opened. Kevin's voice went out across space, reaching the Kreth fleet, the damaged rescue ships, and New Haven colony below. This is Admiral Kevin Ross of the Terra Defense Fleet. Kreth vessels, you have committed an act of war by attacking marked humanitarian convoys. You have violated the Galactic Rescue Accords and murdered hundreds of civilians. You are surrounded and outgunned. Power down your weapons and prepare to surrender. You have 30 seconds to comply. On the Kreth dreadnought Bloodfang, War Master Throck stared at the view screen in disbelief. Human warships surrounded his fleet. Hundreds of them. Where had they come from? Earth was supposed to be weak, supposed to have almost no military. He snarled at his crew. This is a trick. Those ships are probably unarmed transports trying to scare us. All vessels, prepare to fire. We will destroy these humans just like we destroyed their medical ships. But Throck's second-in-command hesitated. War Master, our sensors are detecting massive power readings from those vessels. Those are warships. Real warships. And there are so many of them. I said fire! Throck roared. The Kreth fleet opened fire on the human ships. It was the last mistake they would ever make. The Kreth weapons fire reached the human fleet. Plasma bolts and missiles streaking through space. The Terra Defense Fleet's shields absorbed the impacts easily. Energy barriers flaring bright blue but holding firm. Not a single human ship took damage. Admiral Kevin Ross watched calmly from the bridge of the Indomitable. He had given them a chance. They had refused. Now they would face the consequences. All ships, Kevin said quietly. Weapons free. Show them what happens when they murder civilians. The human fleet opened fire, and the Kreth learned what real military power looked like. Railguns mounted along the battleship's hulls accelerated projectiles to incredible speeds. Solid metal slugs traveling at a fraction of light speed slammed into Kreth vessels, punching through shields and armor like they were paper. 3 Kreth destroyers exploded in the first 5 seconds. Plasma lances, focused beams of superheated matter, carved through the Kreth formation. A frigate tried to dodge and got cut in half, both pieces tumbling away as atmosphere vented into space. Missile pods opened on the human destroyers, releasing swarms of guided weapons that tracked their targets with perfect accuracy. The Kreth fleet scattered, trying to escape, but they were surrounded. Everywhere they turned, human warships waited. The carriers Liberty and Defiance launched their fighters, small craft that moved with impossible agility, dodging return fire and striking at the Kreth ship's weak points. On the damaged Horizon's Hope, Captain Daniel Hayes and his crew watched the battle in stunned silence. Commander Lisa Grant stood beside Daniel, her mouth open in disbelief. Where did all these ships come from? She whispered. Daniel shook his head. He had no answer. He had served in Earth's military before becoming a civilian captain. He knew Earth's official fleet, the ships everyone saw at parades and diplomatic meetings. Maybe 30 vessels total, but this was a full battle fleet. Hundreds of advanced warships operating with perfect coordination. In the medical bay, Dr. Ryan Mitchell held on to Amy Carter as the ship shook from nearby explosions. Through a viewport, they could see the battle raging. They came for us, Amy said, tears streaming down her face. Earth sent a fleet to save us. A Kreth cruiser exploded close to their position, and Ryan pulled Amy away from the window. They didn't just come to save us. They came to send a message. On the planet below, colonists in New Haven watched the sky light up. They had been preparing for a Kreth assault, expecting to die. Now they saw human warships dominating the battle, and hope replaced fear. War Master Throck screamed orders from the bridge of the Bloodfang. His dreadnought was the pride of the Kreth fleet, equipped with the most powerful weapons they had. He directed all fire at the human flagship, determined to destroy at least one enemy vessel before his fleet was annihilated. The Bloodfang's main cannon charged, a weapon capable of destroying a moon. Throck watched the targeting computer lock onto the Indomitable. Fire everything! The dreadnought unleashed its full arsenal. Energy beams, plasma torpedoes, and kinetic rounds all converged on Kevin's flagship. Vice Admiral Nicole Spencer gripped her station as the weapons approached. Brace for impact! But the Indomitable did not even shake. Its shields held easily, absorbing energy that should have destroyed a lesser vessel. Advanced human technology, developed from 50 years of secret research, made their ships nearly impervious to conventional weapons. "Return fire," Kevin ordered. "Disable that dreadnought. I want Throck alive to face trial." 6 human battleships focused their fire on the Bloodfang. They did not aim to destroy but to cripple. Precise shots took out the dreadnought's engines, then its weapons, then its shield generators. Within 2 minutes, the massive Kreth vessel was dead in space, powerless and helpless. Throck collapsed into his command chair. Around him, his bridge crew stared at their screens in horror. The human fleet had torn through 80 Kreth warships like they were nothing. More than half the Kreth vessels were destroyed or disabled. The rest were trying to surrender. "Warmaster," his second-in-command said quietly, "we have lost. If we continue fighting, they will destroy us all." Throck wanted to rage, to order his remaining ships to fight to the death. But he knew it would be pointless. These humans had technology that exceeded anything the Kreth possessed. They had numbers that overwhelmed his forces, and they fought with a precision that spoke of extensive training and experience. "How?" Throck whispered. "How did this happen? Earth is supposed to be weak. They are supposed to be a minor species, barely worth noticing." "Clearly we were wrong," his officer replied. The communication channel opened again, and Admiral Kevin Ross appeared on the screen. His face was calm, but his eyes were hard. "Warmaster Throck, your fleet is defeated. More than half your ships are destroyed. The rest are surrounded. Surrender now, and I will accept it. Continue fighting, and I will annihilate every Kreth vessel in this system. Choose." Throck looked at the tactical display. Red icons showed his destroyed ships. Yellow icons showed disabled vessels. Only a handful of green icons remained, and they were all damaged. The human fleet surrounded them completely, hundreds of ships still at full combat readiness. He had no choice. Pride had led him to attack a medical convoy. Pride had led him to underestimate humanity. Now pride would not save him or his crews. "I surrender," Throck said, the words tasting like poison. "The Kreth fleet surrenders." "Smart decision," Kevin replied. "Power down all weapons and shield systems. Prepare to be boarded. You are under arrest for war crimes, specifically the deliberate targeting of humanitarian vessels and the murder of civilians. You will be tried according to galactic law." The channel closed. Throck sat in his command chair knowing his life was over. Even if he somehow escaped execution, the Kreth Dominion would strip him of rank and status. He had lost a battle fleet to a species everyone believed was weak. The shame would follow him forever. Around the system, the remaining Kreth ships powered down. Human vessels moved in, boarding parties securing the enemy ships. Military police arrested Kreth officers while medical teams treated the wounded on both sides. Kevin watched the operation proceed smoothly. His people had trained for this. They knew their jobs. In less than an hour, every Kreth vessel was secured. "Admiral," the communications officer reported, "Captain Hayes is requesting permission to speak with you." "Put him through." Daniel Hayes appeared on the screen. He looked exhausted, his uniform dirty and torn. Behind him, Kevin could see the damaged bridge of the Horizon's Hope. "Admiral Ross," Daniel said, "I don't know who you are or where you came from, but thank you. You saved us. You saved everyone." Kevin nodded. "You're welcome, Captain. I'm sorry we couldn't get here sooner. I'm sorry for everyone you lost." "Can I ask?" Daniel said carefully. "Where did all these ships come from? I thought Earth only had a small defense fleet." "That's what everyone thinks," Kevin replied, "and we've worked hard to maintain that illusion. But the truth is, Earth has been building a military force in secret for 50 years. We've been preparing for the day when someone would threaten our people. Today was that day." Lisa Grant pushed into view of the camera. "Admiral, I'm Commander Grant, Earth's diplomatic envoy. I've spent years negotiating with alien species, trying to keep Earth safe through peaceful means. I had no idea we had this kind of military capability." "Very few people knew," Kevin said. "It was necessary. The galaxy is not as civilized as we pretended. There are empires that would have attacked Earth if they knew we were weak. We needed time to build defenses to prepare ourselves. The attack on your convoy proved we were right to be cautious." Nicole stepped up beside Kevin. "The age of hiding is over. The whole galaxy is about to learn that Earth is not defenseless. We protect our own, and we will never tolerate attacks on humanitarian missions." Daniel looked at the fleet surrounding them, hundreds of powerful warships flying Earth's flag. "What happens now?" "Now," Kevin said, "we take you and your people home. Your mission is over. We'll establish a proper military presence at New Haven to protect the colony. And we're going to make sure every species in the galaxy understands the new reality. Which is? Lisa asked. Kevin's expression hardened. That Earth is not weak. That we will defend our people and our values with overwhelming force. That anyone who attacks medical ships, who murders civilians, who violates the basic rules of civilized warfare, will face consequences they cannot imagine. He paused, then continued. But we're also going to make it clear that we're not conquerors. We don't want an empire. We want peace, but we'll enforce it if necessary. We want to help species that can't defend themselves. We want a galaxy where humanitarian missions can operate without fear. A tall order, Daniel said. Perhaps, Kevin agreed, but we have the strength to make it happen. Throck made a mistake when he fired on your convoy. He thought he was attacking weak prey. Instead, he woke up a sleeping giant. And the galaxy will never be the same. The channel closed. Kevin turned to Nicole. Send a message to all fleets. Continue securing the area. I want medical teams sent to the Horizons Hope and Mercy Dawn immediately. Get our people the help they need. Already done, Nicole replied. What about the Kreth? We take them back to Earth for trial. Then we make sure everyone knows. What happened here? The Kreth Dominion needs to understand that there will be consequences for what Throck did. Kevin looked out at the fleet. His fleet, finally visible to news of the battle, reached every corner of the galaxy within hours. Quantum communication networks carried the story at faster than light speeds. Earth had revealed a hidden fleet and destroyed a major Kreth battle group in less than 30 minutes. Every species wanted to know what this meant for galactic politics. The Kreth Dominion 召开了紧急会议在他们的首都星球. High Council members gathered in a massive chamber, arguing loudly about how to respond. Some wanted immediate war with Earth. Others counseled caution. Commander Drek, the Kreth ambassador to the Galactic Council, stood before the High Council and delivered his report. The humans have deceived us all. While they pretended to be a peaceful species with minimal military capability, they were secretly building a war fleet that rivals any in the galaxy. Our intelligence estimates they have over 1,000 warships, possibly more. The council chamber erupted in angry voices. One elder council member stood. This is an act of deception that cannot be tolerated. We must demand they dismantle this fleet immediately. Another council member disagreed. We cannot demand anything. They destroyed 80 of our ships with ease. Warmaster Throck's fleet included some of our best vessels, and the humans crushed them. If we go to war, we will lose. Then what do you suggest? The first elder demanded. That we simply accept this humiliation? I suggest we face reality, the second member replied. Throck attacked a medical convoy. He violated the Galactic Rescue Accords. By our own laws, he committed a war crime. The humans responded to defend their civilians. They were within their rights. The argument continued, but slowly more council members began to accept the truth. The Kreth had miscalculated badly. Earth was not the weak species they had believed. Any war with humanity would be devastating, even if the Kreth ultimately won. At the Galactic Council Station, a massive structure orbiting a neutral star, ambassadors from dozens of species gathered for an emergency session. The main chamber was packed, with representatives from every major empire and many smaller nations. Ambassador Kate Freeman represented Earth. She was a veteran diplomat, 50 years old with experience negotiating with hostile species, but today she felt nervous. Earth's secret was out, and she would have to defend their actions to the entire galaxy. Beside her sat General Jason Martinez, Earth's military liaison. He was there to answer technical questions about the fleet and to make clear that Earth was serious about defending its interests. The Kreth ambassador, Drek, spoke first. He stood at his podium, his reptilian features twisted in anger. Members of the council, Earth has betrayed the trust of every species here. They joined our community claiming to be peaceful. They signed treaties agreeing to limit their military forces. Yet all this time they were building a war fleet in secret. We built defenses, Kate interrupted. There is a difference. Semantics, Drek hissed. You deceived us. You lied about your capabilities. And now you have attacked Kreth forces without provocation. Kate stood, her voice carrying across the chamber. Without provocation? Your Warmaster Throck deliberately fired on marked medical vessels. He murdered over 800 civilians, including doctors, nurses, and refugees. He violated the Galactic Rescue Accords that every species here has signed. Earth responded to protect its people and to enforce laws that you all claim to support. General Martinez activated a display screen. Footage from the attack played for the entire council. The Kreth warships firing on clearly marked medical transports, ships exploding, the Horizon's Hope desperately trying to escape. The chamber went silent as the footage ended. Many ambassadors looked disturbed. Attacking medical ships was considered one of the worst crimes possible in galactic society. Ambassador Torvin of the Confederation of Free Worlds stood. He was an older alien, his species resembling tall, thin humanoids with blue skin. I have seen enough. The Kreth committed an atrocity. Earth responded with appropriate force. I see no deception here, only a species defending its people. They hid their military strength, Drek protested. As is their right, Torvin replied calmly. There is no law requiring any species to reveal its full military capability. Earth chose to be cautious when entering the galactic community. Given what we just saw, their caution seems justified. Other ambassadors began speaking. Some supported Earth, others demanded explanations. The debate continued for hours. During a break, Kate met privately with several ambassadors. Many of them represented smaller species, nations that lived in fear of larger empires like the Kreth or Vaxir. We support Earth, one ambassador said quietly. My people have suffered from Kreth aggression for years. We are glad someone finally stood up to them. But you have to understand, another added. Many species are now afraid. If Earth has been hiding this much military power, what else are you hiding? Kate sighed. We're not hiding anything else. Yes, we built a fleet in secret. We did it because when we first entered the galaxy, we were attacked by raiders. We nearly lost everything. Our leaders decided we needed to be strong enough to defend ourselves before revealing our full capabilities. And now? The first ambassador asked. Now we want to be part of the galactic community as equals, Kate replied. We want to trade, share knowledge, and help maintain peace. But we will defend ourselves and our values. The attack on the medical convoy crossed a line. We will not tolerate attacks on humanitarian missions, whether they target humans or any other species. The session resumed. The Vaxir Collective's representative, Queen Speaker Zara, proposed a compromise. The Vaxir were insectoid aliens, and their hive mind allowed them to make decisions quickly. I propose the following resolution, Zara said, her voice buzzing with harmonic tones. First, Earth must provide an accurate accounting of its military forces to the Council. Second, the Kreth Dominion must surrender War Master Throck for trial and pay reparations to the families of those killed. Third, both Earth and the Kreth must agree to a non-aggression pact mediated by this Council. Unacceptable, Drek said immediately. We will not surrender our own commander to alien justice, Kate stood again. Let me be clear about Earth's position. We will provide information about our defensive capabilities, but we will not submit to external oversight of our military. We are a sovereign nation and we will defend ourselves as we see fit. She paused, letting her words sink in. However, we are willing to work with the Council to establish stronger protections for humanitarian missions. We propose creating a coalition for humanitarian protection, where member species commit to defending medical convoys and rescue operations anywhere in the galaxy. And regarding the Kreth? Zara asked. War Master Throck committed war crimes, Kate said firmly. He must face justice. We are willing to hold the trial on Earth or here at the Council Station, whichever you prefer, but there will be a trial, and there will be accountability. General Martinez added, As for our military capabilities, I can tell you this much. Earth has over 1,000 warships currently active, with facilities to build more. We have defense installations throughout our controlled space, and we have technologies that exceed what most species possess. We developed these capabilities over 50 years of dedicated effort. The chamber erupted in shocked murmurs. 1,000 warships was more than most empires had. Earth was not just defending itself. Earth had become a major military power. We did not build this fleet to conquer, Martinez continued. We built it to ensure no one could threaten humanity again. But we're willing to use these forces to protect others. Any species that wishes to ally with Earth will have our protection. Any species that attacks humanitarian missions will face our response. The debate continued into the night. Finally, after hours of arguments, the Council voted. The resolution passed with a narrow majority. Earth was censured for deception, but recognized as having the right to self-defense. The Kreth were required to pay reparations and surrender Throck for trial. But Drek stood and delivered a final statement. The Kreth Dominion rejects this resolution. We will not pay reparations for defending our territory. We will not surrender War Master Thruck. And we will not submit to human intimidation. Kate met his eyes. Then you leave us no choice. Earth will enforce this resolution with or without council approval. You threaten war? Drek demanded. We state facts, Kate replied. Your empire attacked our civilians. If you will not accept peaceful accountability, we will take other measures. The session ended with the galaxy divided. Some species supported Earth. Others backed the Kreth. Many remained neutral, waiting to see what would happen next. Back on Earth, Admiral Kevin Ross received the report from Kate. He sat in his office at Terra Command headquarters, located deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. Vice Admiral Nicole Spencer stood with him. They refused to cooperate, Nicole said angrily. The Kreth are being stubborn. They think we're bluffing, Kevin replied. They think we won't actually go to war over this. Are we bluffing? Kevin stood and walked to a window that overlooked the command center. Screens showed the locations of all Earth's fleets, now deployed openly throughout human space. 50 years of secrecy had ended. The hidden Armada was hidden in the galaxy after Fifth. The Kreth Dominion mobilized its main battle fleets 3 days after refusing the Council's resolution. They gathered their forces at the border of Kreth space, a clear challenge to Earth's demands. More than 200 warships assembled, the largest concentration of Kreth military power in decades. High Council members believed Earth was overreaching. Yes, the humans had defeated Thruck's fleet, but that was only 80 ships. Surely Earth could not sustain a full war against the entire Dominion. They decided to call humanity's bluff. Admiral Kevin Ross received intelligence reports of the Kreth buildup. He sat in the command center of Terra Command with Vice Admiral Nicole Spencer and General Brandon Walker. They studied the tactical displays showing enemy positions. They're making a statement, Brandon said, trying to intimidate us. It won't work, Nicole replied. We have the ships and the technology to match them. Kevin nodded slowly. Then let's make our own statement. Deploy 2nd Fleet, 4th Fleet, 5th Fleet, and 9th Fleet. I want them positioned to counter every Kreth concentration. That's another 400 ships, Brandon said. It will reveal more of our strength. Good, Kevin said firmly. Let them see. Let the whole galaxy see. Earth is not going to back down from bullies. Within hours, Earth's fleets began appearing throughout the region. They emerged from quantum jumps at strategic locations, surrounding the Kreth positions. Every time the Kreth concentrated forces, more human ships appeared to match them. But Kevin was not finished. He gave orders to reveal even more. Defense satellites came online along Earth's borders, weapons platforms that had been hidden in asteroid fields and nebulae. Orbital fortresses powered up around human colonies. Construction facilities that had been disguised as mining operations revealed their true purpose. The galaxy watched in shock as Earth displayed not just hundreds, but over 1,000 warships, along with defensive infrastructure that rivaled any major empire. This was not the weak species everyone thought they knew. This was a military superpower that had been hiding in plain sight for 50 years. On the Kreth homeworld, the High Council met in emergency session again. Intelligence reports showed them the true scale of Earth's capabilities. Arguments broke out immediately. We cannot fight them, one elder council member said. They have more ships than we thought possible. Their technology is better than ours. If we go to war, we will lose. We cannot surrender, another shouted. The Dominion does not bow to upstart species. Commander Drek stood before them. We have a choice. We can fight a war we cannot win, or we can accept their terms. Pay reparations. Surrender Thruck, sign a non-aggression pact. These things damage our pride but keep our people alive. What about our colonies? Someone asked. What about our interests in the disputed territories? Earth has made it clear they don't want our territory, Drek replied. They want accountability for the attack on the medical convoy. That is all. If we give them that, we can avoid war. The debate continued, but slowly the reality became clear. The Kreth had miscalculated. Earth was too strong to attack. Pride would have to give way to survival. While the Kreth debated, Admiral Nicole Spencer led a strike force on a daring mission. She commanded 10 of Earth's newest stealth ships, vessels that could avoid detection using advanced technology. Their target was the Kreth military headquarters on the outer moon of their homeworld. The mission was not to attack, but to demonstrate capability. Nicole's ships approached the heavily defended facility without being detected. They mapped every defense, every weakness, every system. Then at a prearranged time, they activated a signal that shut down all the defensive grids for exactly 10 seconds. No shots were fired. No one was hurt. But the message was clear. Earth could have destroyed the Kreth High Command at any moment. They chose not to, but the capability was there. The demonstration broke the Kreth Council's resolve. If Earth could penetrate their most secure facility without being detected, no Kreth leader was safe. War would mean their own destruction. 3 days later, Ambassador Kate Freeman received a communication from the Kreth. They agreed to Earth's terms. War Master Throck would be surrendered for trial. Reparations would be paid to the families of those killed. The Kreth would sign a non-aggression pact with Earth and respect all humanitarian missions in the future. The trial of War Master Throck took place on the Galactic Council station. Judges from 5 different species presided. Kate attended as Earth's representative, sitting beside Captain Daniel Hayes, Commander Lisa Grant, and the survivors from the medical convoy. Dr. Ryan Mitchell testified about the attack, describing how the Kreth had fired on clearly marked rescue ships. Nurse Amy Carter spoke about the patients they had been trying to save, people who died when the ships exploded. Throck sat in the defendant's chair, his reptilian features showing no emotion. He did not deny what he had done. Instead, he tried to justify it, claiming humans were spreading too quickly through the galaxy and needed to be stopped. The judges were not impressed. After 2 days of testimony, they found Throck guilty of war crimes. He was sentenced to life imprisonment on a neutral world, where he would spend the rest of his days in isolation. As Throck was led away, he looked at Kate. "You think you have won, human. You think showing your strength will make the galaxy respect you, but you have only made yourself a target. Other empires will see your power as a threat. They will band together against you." Kate met his eyes calmly. "Perhaps. Or perhaps they will see that we use our power to protect the innocent. That we defend humanitarian principles. That we can be trusted as allies and feared as enemies. Time will tell." The months following the trial brought massive changes to galactic politics. Several smaller species approached Earth about forming alliances. The Confederation of Free Worlds, led by Ambassador Torvin, proposed a mutual defense treaty. Other nations followed. Earth began establishing joint military bases with its allies. Human ships patrolled areas where pirates and raiders had previously operated freely. Humanitarian convoys now traveled under Earth's protection, and attacks on medical ships dropped to 0. Not everyone was happy with the new order. Some empires resented Earth's sudden prominence, but even the skeptics had to admit that piracy and lawless violence had decreased significantly wherever Earth's fleets operated. Admiral Kevin Ross stood on the observation deck of the Indomitable. Now permanently stationed near Earth, Vice Admiral Nicole Spencer joined him. "We've changed everything," Nicole said. "The galaxy will never be the same." "That was the point," Kevin replied. For too long, the strong preyed on the weak. Medical ships were attacked. Colonies were raided. Smaller species lived in fear. Someone needed to enforce the rules, to make it clear that certain actions have consequences. "And now that someone is us," Nicole said. Kevin nodded. "Yes, we didn't ask for this role. We would have preferred to remain hidden, to protect only ourselves. But once Throck fired on that convoy, once he showed such contempt for human life and humanitarian principles, we had no choice. We had to act." On Earth, Captain Daniel Hayes received a new assignment. The government had built a fleet of armed escort vessels specifically designed to protect humanitarian convoys. Daniel would command one of them, the Guardian, ensuring that no medical mission would ever be left defenseless again. Commander Lisa Grant became Earth's ambassador to the newly formed Coalition for Humanitarian Protection. Dozens of species had joined, committing to defend rescue operations throughout the galaxy. Lisa worked to coordinate their efforts and establish protocols. Dr. Ryan Mitchell and Nurse Amy Carter returned to their hospital on Earth. They were offered medals and honors, but they declined most of them. Instead, they asked for funding to train more medical personnel for dangerous missions. If Earth was going to protect humanitarian operations, they wanted to make sure there were enough doctors and nurses to carry them out. The memorial service for those who died in the convoy attack drew thousands. Families of the victims gathered to honor their loved ones. Admiral Kevin Ross attended, along with many of the fleet commanders. They stood in silence as names were read aloud, 817 people who had died trying to help others. After the service, Kevin spoke briefly with Daniel. "They died doing something important," Kevin said. "Trying to save lives, helping people who needed it. We'll make sure their sacrifice means something." "It already does," Daniel replied. "The whole galaxy knows now that humanity values compassion, that we'll fight to protect those who help others." That's a powerful message. Months turned into a year. Earth's presence in the galaxy solidified. New colonies were established under the protection of the Terra Defense Fleet. Trade increased as species realized that Earth was reliable and trustworthy. Technology exchanges brought benefits to everyone. The Kreth Dominion, humbled by their defeat, began slowly reforming. A new leadership emerged, one that focused on peaceful development rather than military aggression. They would never forget the lesson Earth taught them. Admiral Kevin Ross eventually retired from active command, though he remained as an advisor. Vice Admiral Nicole Spencer took over as fleet commander, bringing her aggressive but principled style to the role. Under her leadership, the Terra Defense Fleet continued to grow and improve. The hidden Armada,